welcome to We Chat Football, the channel where we chat football. And today we'll be talking about a few things. We'll be talking about the likes of Liverpool not getting the double done over them by City. That's the first thing we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about some of the decisions that the referees made in that game as well. Like the Salah penalty that wasn't a penalty, but for some reason the pull on Szoboszlai was given a red card. We'll be looking at that as well. We'll also be looking at the fact that City done the double over Liverpool. The first time in a very, 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 very long time that City has done a double over Liverpool. We're also looking at the fact that Liverpool can't hold on to a lead. No matter what the situation is, Liverpool failed to hold on to a lead this season, which is crazy. The other problem that I find that's happening with Liverpool this season is the fact that they're also lots of contracts that's not getting renewed. That's my thing right now with Liverpool. It's a contract situation that they're not able to renew contracts, not able to renew contracts of the likes of Curtis Jones, the likes of Konate, especially the likes of Curtis Jones. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's causing him not to want to renew his contract. I mean, let's be fair. We're talking about Curtis Jones here, but I think it's more have to be playtime and all the stuff that's happening around the club. That's not just contract based. I would say like around more than money. But let's kick it off. Liverpool lose again. Now that's something that's a reoccurring theme this season. I mean, everybody knows it's a reoccurring theme this season right across Liverpool that we are dropping so much points. In a season when we should be picking up more points than ever, we're dropping so much points. Now, a lot of the mainstream media, I mean, on this side, like you have pundits like Stephen Nicol calling out Slot, saying that this is his fault for not able to get the players over the line, not able to get the players pumped, not able to get the players ready. So we have like Stephen Nicol that's calling out Arne Slot on this. We also have the likes of the YouTube community. They want his head, right? The Liverpool fan base across YouTube definitely want his head on a spike right now. And to be fair, can you blame them? No. Like, you can't blame anybody across any other YouTube spaces who actually wants to get rid of Arne Slot right at this moment, because to be fair, it's pretty justified, if you want to ask me, with the fact that we can't secure a lead, with the fact that we can't even see out a game. It's not just the Man City game, it's right across the board that we can't see out a game. And even though we want to look at some of the refereeing decisions in this game, even though we want to look at some of the calls the referee made in this game to say that, okay, this might be the reason why we didn't win the game, this might be the reason why this happened, or this might be the reason why that happened, we also have to look at the amount of chances that we miss in this game. So, on the other hand, it is not just on Arne Slot alone why we're having such a massive problem within the squad going forward. It's not just on the manager. Yes, the manager does not build confidence in the players. So with no confidence, meaning that we're getting results like this. But at the end of the day, too, it's like these are world-class players. These are players who been there last season, won the league, and some of them have won up to 2 Premier League within the club. So there is no reason for these players to be out there performing like this. They should be performing way better than the way that they're performing right now, due to the fact that these are Premier League champions. These are not just the run-of-the-mill, like, we brought in, yes, some new signings, and yes, some of these new signings have taken a while to hit the ground running, and we fully understand that, right? But at the same time, we need to know as well that there's a lot of work to do. But again, we have to also question the ownership group, like, and the transfer committee of not getting defenders in the January window. Why was there no defenders coming in the January window? Why did we allow the January window to go through not bringing any reinforcement in centre back region? Is it the fact that they're thinking that we might not make the Champions League this season? That could be the case. That they're thinking, okay, then we might not make the Champions League this season. Plus, there could be the likes of Konate not renewing, and they're telling Konate that they're not waiting until the end of the season to figure out if he actually wants to commit to the club, yes or no. So simple means that they're going to be moving on really quickly. Like, they might be looking at a certain target that they're like, okay, then we might be able to get certain targets by the end of the season. So that could be the one of the reasons. Yeah, finally managed to beat Liverpool twice. Yes, finally that's the case. Yeah, so that finally happens. But yeah, that could be one of the reasons as well that I'm just looking at it and being like, okay, they could just look at this as saying, there is a lot of a lot of changes that's happening in and around the squad, which makes it a little bit worrying. For me personally, it makes it a little bit worrying. Like, okay, what are we doing next? Are we gonna splash more cash with Arne Slot over in the summer, and then we need to get somebody in that can spend, but the squad needs to do a rebuild? Is that the case, or is it the fact that they might be looking on to moving on somebody else, so they're maybe wanting to bring a different type of players within the squad, right? That could be another reason as well. That's why I'm saying there's so many moving parts right now that's happening at the club that makes me wondering, like, okay, what's really going on? Why didn't we bring anybody in January, even though we know the money's there? What's happening with these contracts? Like, what's stopping Curtis Jones from signing, right? What's stopping Konate from signing? I know Curtis Jones came out in the media a lot over this season criticizing the players, criticizing the whole thing about the senior players that are not running, players that are not putting in the effort in the team. Does he believe that the club is not moving, or the players that are there does not have the mindset to move us forward? So he's really weighing up his options, whether to stay, whether to go. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So is that the case for Curtis Jones, or is it just the fact that the money isn't correct? Like, he wants more money? Because I am not sure what's causing his contract negotiation to be stalled. As for Ibrahim Konate, again, his is different, because his has been going on now for the last year, because they've been trying to work on his contract the same time they were trying to work on the Salah and the Trent and the Van Dijk contract. Is he thinking that, you know what, if I hold out until the summer, I could see myself getting a better deal? Is that what's going through his head? And if that's what's going through his head, then that's a pretty crazy game to play, because then we could just look to move on from that, right? And I think there's a lot happening at the club, a lot that needs to be fixed at the club, because I do believe that this transfer committee that came back, that's taking over a lot of stuff, they've been dealt a tough blow by the handling of transfer from the previous regime. And that's what I'm thinking. I think that's the case. They've been having a really, really, really tough run from the previous regime, knowing that the fact that they didn't make sure that a lot of these players are fully committed to the squad before leaving. And that's kind of where I'm at with this. Now, for the game itself, let's dig into the game over the weekend. Again, Arne Slot starting, the start that Arne Slot tactically it was bad. Like, we were getting run over the pitch in the first half by Manchester City. Yes, we made some changes at halftime, and while the changes were made, we were able to get back into the game. We were able to get a foothold into the game, starting to look good again, starting to push off, starting to dominate the game. We started to look good in the game. Then after that, we're missing chance after chance after chance after chance to put the game to bed. We could have put the game to bed because we got a lot of chances to put the game to bed. However, just as it says, there's a lot of decision made by the referee in that game that favors City. Again, as I said, lots of decision. Guehi, again, started from outside the box, but also there is the foul on Salah in the box by, I think it was Bernardo Silva, I think it was, that I literally pulled Salah back, and we know Salah would be getting to that ball, but however they deem it fit that he would not get to it. So yeah, I think it was game of the Match Week 26. Yeah, well, I'm going to look at the Match Week 26 stuff on Friday, because we do a Friday show. So the Friday show is when we have a bunch of fans in, including a Manchester City fan that comes in, and we just talk about the game and drop some predictions there. But I'll give you mine before my stream ends. Yes. So we could have got a penalty there, but again, outside of that, we have missed tons of chances throughout that game to put the game to bed. We had the chance to put the game to bed. City, on the other hand, they take the lead. They won the game. Again, it's one of them where I am annoyed we lost. I am really annoyed that we lost. I am annoyed the way that we lose, because it's been that kind of way all season. But as a fan who does not want Arsenal to win the league, I'm kind of like, okay then, you know what? Maybe I can take this one on the chin because it's City and we keep it moving. That's my thoughts around it. It's just that, okay then, City is the closest title rivals. I was like, okay, 9 points. Even though if City lost to us, would City be able to pull back 9 points? And that was what am I worried about going into that game, is the 9 points that City would have had to chase down. Because again, as I said, I do not want Arsenal to win the league, because everybody knows what Arsenal fan base is like, even though I'm not online like that anymore, so I don't get to see some of the outrageous stuff that they're saying. But everybody knows what the fan base is like at Arsenal. So I don't think anybody wants Arsenal to win the league. And I'm on that bandwagon, because when Liverpool was challenging City, no Arsenal fan wanted Liverpool to win the league. And I'm like, why? But hey, they said rivals is rivals, so yeah. And the other note, hopefully City can go on a run from here and win the league. If we can't do it, I'd rather City do it, to be fair. And look at the consequences in years to come, but don't want Arsenal to win the league. Because I do think if they don't win the league this season, it could put an end to that team. And if we get an end to that team, then that's great. They can keep Arteta for as long as they want. No, for the other stuff. No, I know we're gonna beat. The thing is, and that's the thing, is that we are going to beat what do you call it? Sunderland away. I know. I am confident that we're going to beat Sunderland away, because again, it's one of those. It's if Arne loses to Sunderland away, that could be massive for him. Again, like absolutely massive. Nothing outside of a 3 points, I think, would secure his job from this point going forward. Because again, if we drop points again to the likes of Sunderland away at this point of the season, the gap between us finishing in top four is just started to widen. City will beat Fulham. That's spot on. City will beat Fulham. Arsenal though, who's Arsenal playing? Brent Brentford. We'll see. It's two teams that fully dependent on set piece. So we'll see how that one works for the Arsenal and Brentford game. It would be interesting. I mean, even if they draw the game, it's that you like they draw the game, the league cut to 4 points. The pressure is back on Arsenal again, and the thing is that we know how Arsenal behave once the pressure is on. Once the pressure is on, then they collapse. So we know that for a fact that happened with Arsenal. So again, the only thing can happen is for City to continue putting the pressure on, and again we'll see the collapse from Arsenal once the pressure is on. But again, for me personally, the next game, which is again the Sunderland game, Arne Slot can't afford to drop points in that game. That game is a must-win for him, because I believe if he drops points in that game, that's going to be it for him for the season. It's already a gap opening right now between us and the top four. Manchester United are 5 points ahead of us this season, qualified for Champions League. 5 points ahead already. Dropping more points, that's going to open the gap for us to be chasing down a massive gap to secure that Champions League position, and that would be a massive loss in the club revenue going into next season. So unfortunately, we can't afford to lose to the likes of Sunderland this weekend coming. We can't afford to drop any points there. We have to go into that game must win. And we should win, because we are so much better, but we should win. But that's the idea, that we have to go into that game. If he loses to Sunderland, I could see him getting sacked. I could literally see him getting sacked. And I don't think anybody in our fan base would be upset if he lost his job. Even some of the ones that are online talking how great he is and how it's everybody else's fault except his while we're in this position would not be upset if he got sacked. Because I just think now a lot of people who are backing him right now are just don't want to say anything negative due to the fact that they have ties with the club. And that's my thought on it, is that they don't want to say anything negative because they have ties with the club. So they're just going to be like, you know what, let's keep it PG. Let's try to say it's not Arne's fault. Let's blame the players, because again, it's easy to blame the players. And then when the next manager comes on, then they do the same thing, rinse, repeat. We all know how it is. There is a lot of top content creators in the club that is siding with the ownership base over actually what's happening at the club. But yes, with this going forward, we have to fix this. It has to be fixed. It has to, I think, a change of manager, right? Last season was amazing. Last season he looks tactically ready for the league. He looks like he could make changes in game while things are going on. This season he looks out of his depth. Not sure what's causing it. Not sure where that is coming from. But however, this season he looks completely out of it. He looks like he could be gone. It doesn't look like the same manager that was there last season, and that is the worrying part, is that this season he does not look like the same manager that was there last season. And that's a tough one. It's like, where did that manager go? Where did the manager that was so tactical last season go this season? However, we know that after one season, they will just they figure you out. Everybody figures you out after one season. It's whether it is due to how should I put this now? Due to they figure out your tactics, all that kind of stuff. You have to reinvent. You have to come back again. No, there's a bunch of stuff that I can tell off the bat that is the problem with this Arne Slot team, is the fact that he found a good system last season, but decided to go completely against it this season. So much wants to implement his style of football. No, implementing his style of football has removed Liverpool aggression. We do not press, right? It's one of the things I saw in the game yesterday. City was pressing us. We couldn't play out from the back. Now, it's very easy. You're getting pressed. You can't play from the back. Scrap it. Go long. Change the formation. Go long. Try to win the second ball. No big deal. He didn't make that tactical change to go long until 20-something minutes. That's when we got our first attempt at goal. Is after he decided that he's gonna scrap playing on from the back and just go long, which is a decision that should have been made a long time ago. Like, we all could see this was gonna happen. This is what's happening. We all see this. We all saw that. Listen, City's pressing us. We can't get out. Like, City won back the ball like in that first 20 minutes in some very crucial areas of the field that we should have been punished. So even though we missed a lot of chances in the second half, if City was, I would say, a little bit more cohesive with their passing and getting their passing together, we could have been 4 down before halftime. And again, this is something that maybe is being overlooked, is that during that 20-minute spell, City should have had like 3 goals during that 20-minute spell, due to the fact of lack of passing out from the back. Like, we're getting pressed. And for a manager to sit there watching us get impressed, not trying to change anything, and he had to wait 20 minutes before deciding that, listen, do not play out from the back. We can't get through their midfield playing out from the back. And again, it's going to be difficult because the formation City was playing was 4-1-4-1, which simply means that you're trying to play out from the back with 4, maybe 5 players. They already have 5 players man marking all of those players at the back. So playing that through midfield will become difficult. You could have seen that from the get-go. Change it. Start playing long. Push City back. Go long. Or mix it up. Go long, and then when City push back, then you start playing on from the back, so you have that room to play with. It's one of those, like, you're just looking at the manager and you're like, okay, what changed? What changed between last season to this season? Because last season you would have seen this and it would have been a simple fix going into this season. It would be simple. It would have been like, okay guys, listen, switch it up. Within 10 minutes he would have switched it up when he realized that it's not working. But for some reason this season he wants to stick to the same thing. Yeah, okay. So you have your top 3. So yeah, I don't have Liverpool finishing top 4 either this season. Not unless they sack the manager, to be fair. We still can make top 4, but we have to sack him because, again, as I'm breaking down, and he's out of his depth. And again, as I said, it is the same thing that every single fan is saying. And I can tell this because everybody's seeing the same problem. And it's tough because, like, I don't have enough time right now to watch other Liverpool content creators, so I'm not hearing what they're saying. But I know for a fact that if you go across any one of them, any one of the top channels, any one of the upcoming channels, any channels across YouTube, TikTok, anywhere, you'll be hearing the same thing. The same thing that they'll be talking about as well is the fact that, like, we can't make proper changes throughout the game to change the game. And the other thing is, why are we conceding so many late goals? The switching off defensively, it's ridiculous. And that's the thing that I can't wrap my head around, is why are we conceding so many late goals? But again, it's one of those. We're looking forward to the next week. Hopefully, it's something changes, whether it being the manager getting sacked, whether that being we start looking better again, or he changed things around. I want him gone, but if he's gonna be here, at least look like you form back the person who was here last season. That made everybody think that, okay, then you're one of the better upcoming managers, right? It looks like you got lucky on the first season, but now you're out of your depth. And that part for me is the crazy part, is the fact that he looks so out of his depth in the second season. It's actually scary how out of his depth he looks. We might not even make Europe this season if we continue on this same path. Because again, we're talking about Champions League. We're not even in the Europa League spot. And maybe by some miracle, he sticks it out toward the end of the season, and by some miracle, he's able to get a Champions League. And if he's here next season, then guess what? We just have to hope that we win games next season. Because I don't think any Liverpool fan wants us to lose games for him to be sacked. I can almost talk for pretty much most of the fan base would actually rather be proven wrong, and he turns it around and delivers some results. Not that they're backing him, but just prove them wrong. And they all will put their hand up and said, you know what, I was wrong. And get behind the team and get behind the manager and pretend like last season didn't happen. But I think the only route for us to get into the Champions League next season is by winning the Champions League this season. Which again, people look at me like, okay, no, that's not going to happen. It is a complete write-off. We won't be able to do it because blah, 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 blah. But again, it's a cup competition. We can scam our way through and win the games. That's the part that I know we can do. We can get some scammer result, get through to the final, get lucky in the final, and lift that trophy. We've done it before, right? We've got to the final, get lucky, and win Champions League. But nobody cares about how you get there. Nobody cares about how you win it. At the end of the day, you have a Champions League, and maybe that's the only way we can get into Europe for next season. Right. Well, this is where we're gonna end off this one, because these Liverpool shows I just do half an hour, don't do like the full hour on these. However, we will be going live on Friday again, which is 8 Pacific. That we're gonna go live. We're gonna do the Friday Vibe show, and then I'm gonna do another show Saturday morning, around the same time that I did this one. So which is 5 a.m. Pacific Standard. So I'll be getting up, doing a show Saturday morning. It won't be a watch along. It will just be like a vibe out show. I normally do it on a Sunday morning, but I feel like I might do it this Saturday morning. Just get up and we just do a vibe. So you can catch me Saturday morning, 5 a.m. for the next show, or you can catch me Friday evening with the Man U fan and the Man City fan, while we break down the rest of the weekend games and talk about what's happening in and around the league. All right, peace, and catch you on the other.